Hello and welcome to the True Colours of Rugby. My name is Ellen and today we will be looking at the different attitudes and opinions towards rugby. As a rugby player myself, I know it's hard to avoid stereotyping and the negativity surrounding the sport. We will be talking to the players and coaches of the men's team at Weston Rugby Club, and we will also be visiting the town centre to get the public's opinion on this. Rugby. It is thought to be the most controversial sport in England. Whilst it can cause life-threatening and unforgettable injuries, it can have memorable and glorious victories. Rugby is a variation of football originated from England and dating back to the early 19th century. It was first played in a school with a pig's bladder in a town known as Rugby. In 1895, rugby split into two main types of the sport. Rugby union is the more common form of the sport, where two teams of 15 play against each other. However, rugby league consists of 13 players in each team and is a less popular version that is mainly played in Northern England. Now, rugby is one of the most popular sports in England and is now played in over 100 countries around the world. As a sport, it can have a positive effect on not only the players but also the way it has changed men and women's fitness. However, the way rugby is played and the level of enthusiasm that is passionately displayed through the various techniques, it can have a variety of positive and negative effects on the world. Today I asked members of the public in the town centre of Weston-super-Mare their opinion on rugby. Do you think rugby is too aggressive?
Not at all. I think it's a big girls' game, to be honest, at heart.
No, because it's very enjoyable to watch.
Not really, because I'm a fan.
No, there's not too many serious injuries or anything.
Sometimes, yes, for small children.
No, I don't. It's a competitive game. Rugby players are there to play the game.
We conducted a survey online and found that 87.5% said no, whereas 12.5% said yes. Do you think rugby players are good role models for young people?
Not particularly. I think they should be aiming for slightly higher aspirations than people that rugby tackle each other in the middle of a ground.
They always normally stick to the rules. They're not aggressive like footballers. So yes, I think they're good role models.
Yes, well, it gives them discipline.
Yes, for me, that's the real man.
Yeah, majority of them are. You always get the bad apple that falls off the cart, so to speak.
Do you think you would gain any life skills by playing for a rugby club?
I think they're gaining good teamwork skills.
Yes, I do. I think you must learn discipline.
No, it's quite separate from working life.
Yes, the team skills.
Yes, you know how to control yourself and appreciate other people. You know, giving them respect. That's the name of the game: is giving respect.
Do you think playing rugby boosts your employability of an individual?
Yes, I would think so. Yeah, I would give an employer an idea that they can follow rules and they have discipline. Yes.
Yes, because it generates interest.
I don't really think it boosts the employability as such.
So, there are a variety of opinions from the general public when it comes to rugby. Now, let's speak to the players and coaches of Weston Rugby Club about their experience, with not only the sport itself, but the public's reaction and how it affects them. Now let's go to the rugby club. So I'm here with former coach of Weston's men's team, Steve, to discuss on why he became a coach. You've had a long, successful rugby career.
Yeah.
Could you talk to me about some of the teams that you've played for and played against?
Yeah, sure. Well, I joined the Royal Air Force when I was 16, 17. So I played a number of years for the RAF Colts, playing against Scotland Colts, Spain Colts, and then I moved up to under-21s and played for the RAF, Royal Air Force and Combined Services under-21s, Canada and Argentina, amongst a few. Made a lot of very good friends in my career. Quite a few of them I'm still in touch with now.
Did you travel a lot, like when you went?
Yeah, travelled all over the world really. Played in Canada, America, Hong Kong, New Zealand, all around North America on rugby tours, mainly with the RAF and the Combined Services.
Have you ever been accused of being a stereotypical rugby player? So have you ever been accused of being angry, aggressive, rude, mean?
When you play rugby most of your career, the people you socialise with tend to be rugby players and rugby people. They understand the ethos of rugby. They understand people can be very, very aggressive on the field, but off the field, I think the high majority of rugby players are quite intelligent, good guys that are very, very kind and supportive of other people in other sports.
Do you think the different attitudes towards rugby affects the players?
No, not really. People that don't understand rugby, their attitude is they think people are angry, aggressive, and they're the sort of people that play the sport, but the people that understand rugby realise that sometimes you have to be physical, you have to be strong, you have to dominate your opposite number to win the game, because it is a confrontational sport. People that have the negative attitude towards rugby players are probably those people that don't really understand the game.
Do you think this affects the sport? So do you think it looks less appealing to play?
I think from the kids, the under sevens, under 8s, we introduce kids playing tag rugby where they don't even really touch. They just get developed into running, exercising, passing, catching. Then, the tackling is introduced when they're a little bit mature, when they're about 11 or 12. So it's all controlled, it's all coached well.
We also had a chat with some of the players and coaches of Weston's men's team to have their opinions about the sport. Why do you coach rugby?
Coach rugby because I've played since I was 7 to make training more fun and actually players to develop and become better players rather than robots. So that's why I coach.
What effect does rugby have on you?
Do you want to laugh or you want to cry? Depending on how the session or the game's gone. But more importantly, just a release to maybe getting older. The playing days are gone, but coaching's the next best thing for me.
It takes up quite a lot of my time. I coach down at Plymouth Albion on a Tuesday and a Wednesday. I coach here Tuesday nights, Thursdays, play Saturdays. Sort of ring round some of the lads occasionally, have a check in the chat, so make sure everyone's alright, check they're all okay. It does take up quite a bit of the time, really.
Have any other hobbies apart from rugby?
Watch football, try and play football when I can. So used to coach it. Hobbies are difficult when your job in rugby is full-time and your hobby is rugby as well.
I've got 2 young children, so they do a bit of gymnastics, and they come down and play rugby as well now for the under 5s and 8s, and they're really starting to enjoy that. So I'd say my hobby's my kids. They do quite a lot of different sort of sports, all the swimming and that. So between the rugby and running around after them, that's about my hobbies, I think.
What do you want to achieve by coaching rugby?
Be the best coach I can be. Currently on my level 3 at the moment, so I want to aspire to be better, to inspire others in who I coach. Probably main goal is to coach England at the highest level, whether that is the senior team, that's my aspiration. But long way off, but a lot of learning to do, but that's where I want to be.
Okay.
I've achieved what I wanted playing wise, so I'm happy enough with that. Coaching wise, both teams I've coaching at the moment, I'd like to sort of be a bit more successful than they were. All the teams I coached last year won each of the competitions they were in, so it's a bit of a strange year for me because I had a very successful year.
Why do you play rugby?
I really enjoy it personally, and it's a great way to make friends, and it's one of my only opportunities to compete in competition and get that experience at home.
It's something I love. Every second I'm training or playing, just working towards it and can't stop doing it.
Okay.
And it's really good for fitness. I've made some of my best friends playing this rugby. I've played since I was 8 at this club, so over 12 years now. So yeah, I've made some of my closest friends here, and yeah, it's good for fitness.
Big impact on social life. You meet a lot of good people. You learn a lot from it. You learn a lot about yourself. You learn about different people and just impacts they have on your life.
Do you have any other hobbies apart from rugby?
I like learning languages. I studied at a language school in Russia for 4 weeks, so I can speak Russian. Generally like keeping fit, so I swim a mile a week, play a bit of football, and quite active really.
I do a lot of coaching through rugby, but yeah, everything is rugby based at the minute.
Okay. Does rugby have any effect on your personal life?
Not that I can think of really, no.
Yeah, well, like I said, I've met a lot of great people coaching under 13s, a lot of great kids, and met a lot of good people from this club and others.
What do you want to achieve by playing rugby?
Well, it's one of the only opportunities I have now to experience winning in a competition, and to me it's really rewarding, especially when you work as part of a team. Outside of rugby, I don't really get anything like that in my work or anything, so I know winning as well, I can best about it.
Probably something I don't want to achieve. It's just something that I love doing and enjoy. I know I'm not going to make it professional or anything, but it's just something I love and keeps me happy.
Have you ever received any injury during rugby? If so, how serious was it?
Yeah, I've broken my nose 3 times.
Wow.
Luckily, it was one way then the other, and then back the other way. So it's not too crooked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you pick up knocks week in, week out, but it's just a quick rub down and a bit of stretching off and it's all done really.
One of the main causes of controversy in rugby is injury, and as it is clear from some of the previous interviews, they are particularly common in the sport. While some may argue rugby is one of many sports that can cause life-changing injuries, others may say it can have a very negative effect on players' personal lives. One powerful example of a life-changing injury sustained during one of the most important rugby games in history was by Tom Evans, a former member of the Scottish team. The following clip is an interview recorded by the International Rugby Board about his injury.
We were still leading, we had a quite comfortable lead at that stage, and then obviously the accident occurred. I kind of ducked my head due to my lip, obviously because it was in quite a bad state, and that was probably obviously the reason for what happened. I just remember going into the collision and spilling the ball, and my mind wanting to reach out and grab the ball and obviously secure it, but obviously my body just not responding in any way possible. And you know, it was very scary times, and I just remember James Robson again just telling me to stay still and try not to move, and like I said, you know, like it paid massive dividends, and you know, I owe him my life.
As you saw there, Tom Evans sustained a powerful neck injury that changed his life forever. Despite having a full recovery, he was fully aware of the physical demands of the game and chose to retire from the sport. Even though his rugby career had come to an end, several career paths had opened to him, including golf and acting. This story shows that even though the level of aggression in rugby can cause serious injuries, modern science can reduce the severity of them. I hope this documentary helped you understand that the stereotype for rugby players is not always accurate, that there are different opinions about the sport, but most of all that you enjoyed it. Join the discussion on social media with the hashtag TrueColours of Rugby to have your say. Is the stereotype a fair play or a drop pass?